So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Tim Burnham and Mark Cunningham.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming. I see a lot of familiar faces. I figured this would be the only way I could go get waves at Panics. While you guys are here, we're going to go get some waves. No, seriously, thanks so much for coming. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the film. Come out to Wedge anytime. You're all welcome. Don't tell anybody else I said that.
Big mahalo to Taylor Chang and Sarah Fang for producing the 9th Annual Honolulu Surf Film Festival. Please pick up a program, and I hope you'll come see other films. It opened on the 2nd and goes all the way to the end of the month. Tim's film will screen 2 more times on the 17th and 30th, so if you enjoy it, maybe tell your friends. There'll be 2 other opportunities to see it. I don't know when I met Tim, it was a while ago, but a great body surfer, he loves it. I'm kind of an Oahu Opihi, I don't get off the rock that much. The handful of times I've gone to the Wedge, Tim and the boys have been very warm and welcoming, and of course they've come over here over the years to ride waves at Sandy and Panic and out at the North Shore, and there's a nice friendship and sharing that goes on back and forth. I came up with a new saying, and I don't know what terrifies me more in Southern California, the 405 or the Wedge. You'll see what I'm talking about when you see some of the footage in this movie. It's a young man's game there. But I hope this film will maybe inspire you to tell your stories. Tim is not a filmmaker. Well, he is now. He's got one under his belt. But going into this, you know, he just passionate about his sport. And I got to believe Come Hell or High Water might have inspired you a little bit.
Definitely
to tell. There are many, many stories to tell in body surfing and surfing and the wonderful lifestyle we lead in Hawaii. And so I hope you guys will share your story, whether it's film or photography or writing or what have you. I see a couple of faces in the crowd. One, Gary Cooley. Thank you very much, Gary, for supporting. Yeah, thank you very much for supporting the Honolulu Surf Film Festival and giving us mentions. There's Shawnee Inoka, and where's Mel? Mel, stand up. Mel organized the body surfing. Contest with a lot of friends out at Mapaha in 2015. It might have been the best body surfing contest I've ever been in, because at the end of your ride, you got on a jet ski and you got to ride all the way back out to the point. And so I think his next contest is going to be early 2017. But Mel is also doing a fundraiser to send a bunch of guys to Hawaii. This August will be the 40th annual World Body Surfing Championships. And a bunch of guys from Hawaii are going this year. And Mel is kind of, along with Shawnee Inoka, is sort of spearheading a little fundraising to get a bunch of Hawaiians to. I've been going there for a bunch of years. I'm kind of old dinosaur, but I'd like to get some younger guys there who are doing amazing things, trick-wise, belly spins and El Rolos, what have you. I see my friend Matt Luttrell from Trim Magazine. Matt, stand up. If you get a chance, the Trim is in the lobby, and it's a new view of the sport that we all love so much. I could go on and on. There are lots of friends. Let's watch the movie. I think we're going to do a Q&A afterwards.
Yep.
And then, of course, we're going to Wahoo's afterwards. I'll buy you a beer, we'll buy poo-poos, and we'll BS some more, and then we'll go to Panic and have more fun. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Which is, if you could talk a little bit about what inspired you to make the film in the first place.
What inspired me to make the film in the first place? As you can see, the characters that we have in the film, there's just so many, and being down there all the time, I thought it would be a cool, unique story, something I'd never really seen before in the surf world. So, what'd you guys think?
And then my second question is for both of you, and Mark as well. If you could share with us one great personal wedge story, share it with us, that would be
I have one
amazing.
that's from recent, and Mark probably has the same one. We were in the water 2 weeks ago. Mark was out with Connie, and a whale washed up onto the beach right in front of us and came out right underneath us. It was kind of the most surreal thing I've ever seen.
Didn't
But,
beach, did it?
No, it
it
like
did.
went onto the beach, but then it made its way back out.
That's
So it's something that's never happened before.
Wow.
And Mark just happened to be there. I happened to be there. It's kind of cool. It's more memorable, I guess, of the recent ones.
Yeah.
I think Mel said, you know, the wedge is even dangerous for whales.
Yeah.
Because it got caught inside on a wicked day. And that was most likely my most memorable because it was the most recent. I can maybe count on two hands the amount of sessions I've had at Wedge over the years, but the Wedge crew has always been very warm and welcoming to me, and it's a real nice, respectful brotherhood there. And I totally respect those guys for their crazy level of wave riding, the older generation and the younger guys that are there now. I joke that I'm so. It's lucky I didn't grow up in Newport Beach. I either would have died of a broken neck or venereal disease. Anyway, there's one other guy I got to point out. Herbie, stand up. This is my dear friend Herbie Knudsen. He was a lifeguard at Sandy Beach. And I used to hitchhike out to Sandy Beach, and Herbie was my mentor, and he showed me how smooth and cool and neat body surfing could be. It's not about me or Herbie, it's about body surfing. But thank you, Herbie. Do you have a question or a comment, Herbie?
How you covered the history of that was touching.
Stockman, thank you.
We're suffering right now through the same thing. They have those new Costco surfboards coming into the surf at Sandy Beach, and it drives me crazy. And nobody says anything but me.
Yeah.
The mean old man.
There's nothing wrong with that. Somebody's got to do it. Capella does.
You have to say it loud, Steve.
Yeah, Steve definitely does. Yeah.
Any question? Back there, grab a question.
Were there any women?
Yes, there are. Well, there's been a couple over the years. None that were available during the filmmaking process. We didn't have anything on footage. A girl by the name of Dana. She's awesome. She charges. We've had some visitors, female visitors from Hawaii, and we had someone from Japan come out recently. But nothing. For some reason, we just can't keep them. I think it's because the guys are.
Women are smarter than men.
Yeah, I think the guys are a little
too
too inappropriate for the girls to stick around. Back in the day, I guess there were. This is in the 50s. A couple girls that were pretty regular down there. I didn't get their names. It didn't have any footage, so unfortunately, they didn't make the cut. But yeah.
I think there is, and it's old Bud Brown footage, which is absolutely classic, that you saw in the beginning of the film, and later on in one of the segments
You're right,
there.
yeah, in the beginning, yep, there is. Yeah.
Bud Brown, the godfather of surf movies, we're celebrating him on the very last night of the film festival here on the 31st?
Yep.
31st. But Bud Brown loved body surfing. He was a lifeguard at one time. And I think some of his early footage showed one of the Calhoun sisters. I think there are two sisters, Candy and Marge Calhoun. And there are
Mark
pictures
knows more about Wedge than I do.
There are pictures of them, I'm older than you, that's why. The Calhoun sisters at Makaha, which is a great body surfing beach. And, I'm not the first body surfer and lifeguard in Hawaii by any stretch. There are many, many greats before me. Buffalo Keala. A couple of weeks ago at the Rabbit Cake High Memorial Service at Waikiki Beach, there's this incredible display, and it was by a hero of ours, Joe Quigg. And I think this was in 47. Joe Quigg is describing Rabbit Cake High body surfing outside Waikiki, getting barreled and just swimming like a dolphin. And, many great Hawaiian and Californian body surfers and lifeguards well before me. I'm just another link in the chain. I don't know what the chain is doing or where it's going, but I'm happy to have been a part of it all.
I'm loving where we're going. I think all the young guys I see over here on Instagram and Facebook and all the social media outlets, it's pretty cool to see this new blood of body surfing coming up.
A lot of the footage was Mel's home movies from Super 8 and VHS or Beta, whatever that format was.
Thousands of hours. We only had so much money to go through all the footage that we had that you end up seeing, but there's way more if anybody wants to make another Wedge movie. But
I highly recommend you follow Mel on Instagram. And what's it?
Wedge Mel, yeah.
Wedge Mel. He posts classic shots from over the years, and they're just beautiful slices of Wedge history. He'll do 1 or 2 posts a day, and it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Harry Wade,
Yes.
he was the best like in the 70s, like,
70s, 80s, yeah.
and then he got hurt and he stopped, but you couldn't get an interview with him, or?
This was a tough one we had to battle with. Terry has some health problems, kind of don't want to divulge more than that, and it was just we chose not to take that route, kind of to just save face out of respect for him.
Gary.
Well, I just about the performance level. You got this guy, this icon, and you have these classic moments where you measure up his performance against the classic Wedge days and take the best young kids of today. You know, even as much as they progressed, have they really progressed that much, or would you consider it pretty much equal when you compare them up?
You know, Terry, see, that's the thing. I think there's only so much you can do at Wedge in writing, and I think the style that Fred kind of created down there, Terry kind of evolved, Matt Larson, Mel, Tom Kennedy, I think there's a gap there, and then you got these young guys that I think from watching that footage, and you know, they've created their own style from that, but yeah, I think they've maybe reached that point. To say they're better now, I don't think you could ever say that.
It's hard to compare generations.
Yes.
I mean, in surfing, there have been so many equipment changes, whereas body surfing, it's just the body and what guys are doing on the wave. So it's still kind of timeless. It's kind of classic. I mean, there are young guys like Connie Aliti Wilcox at Point Panic and Mike Stewart, incredible. Somehow I'm like the most famous body surfer, but Mike Stewart is the best body surfer. He's been kicking my ass at Pipeline and Panic for years and years in contests. But the tricks and maneuvers that Mike did boarding, he's transferred over into body surfing. And there's a young generation of guys that are doing, you know, incredible tricks and maneuvers too. And so it is evolving of sorts.
I've never seen anybody do a front flip as clean as Connie over here. And that thing's pretty incredible. So, yeah. Front flip body surfing, yeah, I said that. Nobody at Wedge can do that, so.
How do you think the hand plane is going to affect any of that? I mean,
Hand
I've
plane.
seen so many from 95 to the bigger ones. Like,
Yeah.
is that-
I have a pretty big opinion on hand planes. I don't like them. At Wedge especially, they think they're pretty useless. And I just don't think they're necessary. I think they have a place, like, you know, more mushy waves. Point Panic is a more technical wave, which is appropriate. Personally, I just don't like them. But everybody has their own.
Onshore Makapu.
Yeah, onshore Makapu, exactly. Stuff like that. But it's just, Wedge is such a powerful wave, top to bottom. You don't need that extra lift. Mel has these little, Mel Tolman, not this Mel here, but these little Speedo hand planes that he uses. We call them crutches.
I call him handboarder helper.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing against them. I know like Sean Inoka has his own line of bullet boards that's pretty incredible shape. I've ridden one before, one of his, and you know, just for me, I don't like to use them. Yeah.
There are guys, and it still holds true at the Point Panic, but back on the North Shore, when I was first out at the North Shore body surfing, there are a couple of guys, Red Wings was one of them, and another guy, Chip Hartman, and they rode these beautiful handboards, very similar design, kind of concave, and they were definitely taking off on bigger, steeper waves, going longer and faster than I ever could. What do you say so, Robbie? Yeah.
I wouldn't say they were faster, they were better, but they were spectacular.
Yeah, they're different in, you know, I personally like the freedom of not having a board where I can put my hands all over the place. Sometimes you're sort of attached to this thing and a prisoner to it, and you'll certainly go faster and get around certain sections, and there are pros and cons to it. I love, you know, my big love of body surfing is the sense of freedom and not having the equipment or the gear. But I love their guys at Panics that are just like going fast and making through so many barrels and sections that I'm just getting gobbled up in. So, just, you know, certain. I wouldn't want it. I'm scared of something that close to my head.
Yep.
You know, some of these have pintails and hard rails, and something just 3 feet away from my eyes or head gets me a little leery. But there are times I've used them and had really, really good fun.
Not many people bring down a wedge. I mean, it's kind of something that if you come down with a handboard, most people kind of like, oh, they're not from right
I
here.
saw one little bit of footage with it. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, some guys do. Yeah.
There's one back there.
Oh, I just wondered, seasonally and over the years, does the sand change much, the amount of sand, or does it?
The amount of sand, yes. It's, according to Fred Simpson and some of the old school guys, they said it's significantly become less. I don't know why. It just has. I guess back in the day you could walk out half a mile and on the sand along the jetty, and now you get maybe 100 yards. So, yeah. Anybody
Any other
else?
question? I have one.
Yes.
In the filmmaking process, what was the most surprising thing that you discovered, like in your journey of collecting all these stories and putting the film together?
The most surprising thing is how much footage Mel had. That was pretty surprising. How much footage Bud Brown had. Unfortunately, we didn't have the money to go through all that. For me, not being a filmmaker, everything was kind of surprising. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay, gotcha. You know, I said it this morning in this interview that I kind of feel like I got my own degree in filmmaking this round, because.
I mean, again, it was like really remarkable that this was your first film, and just the emotion that you captured and the way you structured it. It just was
Thanks, guys.
brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. And I do have 2 partners on the film, Edward and Jack. They're from Hunt House Pictures. They really are the talent too behind this. It's a combined effort. These guys, they knew what they're doing and helped me kind of evolve my ideas into picture. So, yeah.
Random question.
Yes.
Do you have to pay anything for the name Dirty Old Wedge to what's his name?
Nope.
To,
Craig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna Craig. No, that's, I guess,
no, Joe?
fair game. My lawyer said I'm good to go. Yeah. Dirty Old Wedge, just to clarify here, it was from Endless Summer. That's what Bruce Brown called the wedge. Dirty Old Wedge. Yes, sir.
I noticed in the film everyone was wearing Viper fins. Why do you prefer those over any other thing?
Funny you should ask that. No, Viper was created by Fred Simpson, who's old school wedge. Out of respect for Fred, that's just kind of what the crew wore. There's this new sense of a fin quiver now coming around. It's becoming popular. I just got my first pair of DeFin. You can cut that camera for a second. I love my DeFins, and they're the only fins I brought out on this trip. They're absolutely amazing, and to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I love all fins. It's like riding a surfboard. For bigger waves, you can ride certain, like I use my UDTs and big stuff. Viper fins, I'm just used to them, so I use those, and now DeFin, super awesome. So.
It's nice to have choices.
Yes.
Back in the day, for a lot of the guys in the room here, you either had duck feet or Churchills, and those were your 2 choices. So you've got a lot more options. I always tell people to wear the fin that is the most comfortable, that fits you the best. We all have different feet.
Yep, exactly.
Is Romo making a book?
Romo is. Yes, he is. Romo and I, Ron Romanowski, the narrator, and I have been working on a little coffee table book to kind of tell the stories that you didn't hear, because he's got so much more information.
I hope it's a big book.
It's a real big book.
I've been hounding Romo for years too. He just has captured such a slice of history of Southern California, Newport Beach, and the Wedge. Not just the waves, but the people and the fashions and the shenanigans that went on there. Just an incredible slice of history that he has there. So I hope that book comes out real soon.
He's a genius. The guy has just stacks and stacks of photos from over the years, dating back to the 60s. And he went to the Vietnam War in the early or late 60s and took photos from that time. And really what motivated him to come back and be a part of the Wedge and really make Wedge his life was his experiences in Vietnam, and that's going to be part of the story as well. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
All right. Oh, we got more.
What's your next film project?
Next film project. I've been throwing around a few ideas. I really want to do something on the Lanada Bay Boys. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but these guys, the Bay Boys in Lanada Bay, have been stirring up some controversy. They are now getting sued for $30,000 each for being a surf gang. I think that would be a cool story to tell, just to maybe tell their side and the other side. But yeah. Oh, hey, we have a party after this. 3 to 5, right, Mark?
3 to 6, we're gonna go to Wahoo's. We've got dollar beers, and we've got poo-poos, and we'd love to keep talking stories and answering questions. Thank you all for coming here, and thank you for supporting the Honolulu Surf Film Festival.
Thank you guys.